Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In this video I want to show you some quick tips that you can use on your Samsung dryer if your dryer is either stopping too early and not finishing the cycle, or is just weak heating in general. So these newer Samsung dryers, they all come with a moisture sensor. So all the cycles right here on the left side, including the delicates on the right side, they all use the sensor. And pretty much what the sensor does, it's right here. It's got two metal bars, and let's say if you put a load in there and you have different type of materials, could be some lighter shirts and like some heavier duty pants, the lighter items tend to come more towards the front and they get dry faster. So when dry stuff hit the sensor and this sensor remains dry for a period of about a minute or so, it's automatically going to jump to 1 and finish the cycle. Doesn't matter if there's still 50 minutes left, because the sensor is going to think that everything is dry, because those items that are in the back and are still wet, they don't touch the sensor, so the sensor wouldn't know. And that's the same thing, let's say if you put towels, they could be super wet, and let's say you got about 5 or 6 towels in there, they're just rotating. Because of the sensor position, which is right here, those towels might actually not hit the sensor and the dryer is automatically going to stop even though the towels are still super wet. So you would want to have a very big load, probably about 70% of the drum to be full, so that the sensor would always remain wet and not dry, because when it gets dry it will stop the cycle. And there is a way to bypass that. The cycles right here that have this line right here, they're manual dry cycles. So these cycles, they don't work with the moisture sensor. So let's say quick dry, it's a quick 30-minute cycle. I like to use time dry, comes preset to a minute, and an hour. And pretty much with the manual dry cycles, if you have 1 hour, it's gonna run for 1 hour, and you can actually adjust the time. You can either go up or you can go down, depends how long you want it. I believe the longest is 1 hour and 39 minutes on this model. And when you select time dry, it automatically comes with EcoDry preset, but you could hit it and turn it off, because with EcoDry your heating will be a little weaker. And now if you start a cycle for 57 minutes, it's gonna run for 57 minutes straight, and it's not gonna stop. When you use these cycles that use the moisture sensor, let's say you select heavy duty, it shows 58 minutes. But honestly, let's say if you have some towels in there and they're super wet, your cycle can jump to a minute after like 5 minutes and not actually go the full 58, because it's going to think that the load is dry since nothing will touch the sensor. And then the other problem, the weak heating, you always want to make sure that this filter in the front is cleaned before each load, because if it's not and it's clogged up, it's going to restrict the airflow, which is going to cause weak heating. And then you have your duct in the back. A lot of times when these dryers get installed and they just get pushed in the back and that line kinks up, that restricts the airflow as well, and your heating will be a lot weaker. So you want to make sure that thing is not kinked. Another thing, they do end up getting clogged throughout the years, some with as little as 6 months, usually maybe a year. So you always want to check that maybe every 6 months or so, disconnect it from the dryer, take a look inside, make sure that it's not clogged, because if it's clogged up, it's actually a fire hazard, because all that lint, it's going to come back into the unit, sit on the heating element, and the heating element could catch fire. Mine is pretty short, it goes straight outside. If yours is short like that too, you could just clean it yourself. If yours is like 30 feet and goes throughout the entire house, probably best thing is to just have a company come and clean it out. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Make sure you select the manual dry if you have this issue. I've had this dryer for about 3.5 years now, and when I just got it, I was using the normal dry cycle for about a month, and it was 50-50. Sometimes it was working, sometimes it was stopping too early. And after that, I just switched to the time dry, and I hadn't had a problem since. So I would definitely recommend you do that. Yeah, there's not like a part that you can change to fix this issue. It's just the way the sensor is positioned. And sometimes the clothes just don't touch it, and that's the problem. But as long as you're getting at least some heat, your heating element is good, because if your heater is fully out, it's not going to give out any heat. And in that case, if you're getting zero heat, then this will not help. You would have to replace your heating element, or maybe it's your control board. Could also be maybe you're not getting enough voltage from the outlet, because the electric dryers, they need 240 volts. So in that case, you could call a technician out to get it checked out. But if your dryer is just stopping early or weak heating, these tips will definitely help you out. But thank you for watching this video, and you can subscribe to this channel if you're interested in more tips on Samsung appliances or Samsung TVs.